Okay, so let us start the today's session. See, in the last session, we have seen function, what is path function, followed by we have seen the why heat is path function, why work is path function, why thermodynamic properties are path functions. Okay, then we have seen the quasi-static process. We have seen the what is work, what is heat. So all those things we have seen in the last lecture. Now let us start this session. In this session, initially we'll be starting with the reversible and irreversible process. Okay, so let us start with the reversible and irreversible process. Okay, so okay, so let us start. So see, all of you, reversible process. Okay, so let me clear you that reversible process, it's an ideal process. Reversible process does not occurs in nature, or such process doesn't exist. Okay, so if you ask me to give a simple example, what is reversible process? Okay, let us take a spring. Okay, one end of the spring you okay hold, okay, and other end you stretch. Okay, other end you stretch, and after some time you release that other end. Of the process, both the system and surrounding, they're going to return to their original shape and size. Okay, that is the reason why the process it is called as reversible process, right? Because after the completion of the process, okay, both the system and surrounding, they're going to return to their original shape and size. That's why such process it is called as reversible process. So simple example will be extension and compression of this spring. Okay, so that is the example of the reversible process. Okay, so initially you can see this is the spring, this length of the spring, this is the new length of the spring. Okay, because when you see, okay, the spring has got deformed. Okay, so this is a deformation of the spring. Okay, so the x is the deformation of the spring. Okay, so x is the deformation of the spring. See, what do? You now you release the force. Okay, now you release the force. So what will happen? The spring is going to return to its original shape and size, right? So that is called as reversible or reversible process. Okay, that is called as reversible process. Okay, now then what is irreversible? What is irreversible? Okay, that is exactly opposite of reversible process. Okay, opposite of reversible process. Okay, that is called as irreversible process. Okay, and all of you keep in mind, all the processes which are occurring in a nature occurs in a nature, okay, it's irreversible. The reason is that whenever any process occurs in a nature, okay, there will be always traces. There will be always traces either in the system or in the surrounding. Okay, that means both the system and surrounding, they are not going to return to their original state. Okay, that is the reason why, okay, the process is irreversible. Every process which is occurring in a nature is irreversible. And the example of this will be combustion of air fuel. Okay, air fuel mixture combustion. Okay, then relative motion with friction. Okay, so whenever there is no friction, it is reversible. Okay, I repeat, whenever there is a friction, it's irreversible, and whenever there is no friction, it's a reversible. Okay, and you know that it is not possible for any process occur without friction. You can minimize the friction Okay, but you can't neglect the friction. Okay, so irreversible process. Is that okay to all of you? Yes. Is that okay to all of you? Yes. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So now let us move to the next point. Okay, and this is basically okay. This zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, this you already seen either in a diploma course. Okay, this law you already studied in the diploma course. Okay, that is called as zeroth law of thermodynamics. Okay, so what the zeroth law of thermodynamics says? See, if body A and body B, see if body A and body B, they are in thermal equilibrium with body C. I repeat, if body A and body B, they are in thermal equilibrium with body C, then other. Okay, so that is what the statement says. See, if two bodies are in thermodynamic equilibrium with the third body, then the two bodies are also in thermal equilibrium with each other. In simple, तीसरे बॉडी इतना है, ऐसा तुम कब बोल सकते हैं? When you say that the temperature of the two bodies, it is two bodies is same. See, दोनों दो बॉडी का टेम्परेचर तीसरे बॉडी इतना है, ये कब बोल सकते हैं? पहले वो दो बॉडी का टेम्परेचर एक दूसरा रहना चाहिए, राइट? एक जैसा रहना चाहिए. Is that okay? Is that okay or not? Let me clear. Is that okay?
Yes,
सर दोनों का सम रहना चाहिए या फिर दोनों का सेपरेट?
Same. I repeat. See, you never see, there is no any concept where you can add the temperature. Temperature never be added. Let me clear. See, I am repeating. दोनों बॉडी का टेम्परेचर तीसरे बॉडी इतना है, वो हम लोग कब बोल सकते हैं? जब वो दोनों बॉडी का टेम्परेचर सेम रहेगा. देखो, दोनों का टेम्परेचर सेम रहेगा तभी हम लोग.
Sir, tell some example.
Okay, a simple example. Let's say let us take one student. Okay, let's say one student. Okay, let's say Saad. Okay, Saad secured 80%. Okay, Saad secured 80%. Let us say one more student, Maz. Let's say Maz secured 80%. Maz secured 80%. Okay, and let's say one more student. Okay, let's say Sahil. Okay, he has scored again 80%. Right? Now say, मैं कब बोल सकता हूँ कि सात और मार्च के को मिले हुए टेम्परेचर, सात और मार्च को जितने परसेंटेज मिले हैं उतने ही परसेंटेज साहिल को मिले हैं. ऐसा कब बोल सकता हूँ मैं? सात और मार्च को जितने परसेंटेज मिले हैं उतने ही परसेंटेज साहिल को मिले हैं. ये मैं कब बोल सकता हूँ? जब सात और मार्च को परसेंटेज सेम मिले रहेंगे तभी बोल सकता हूँ ना. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I told you in terms of temperature. Okay, in the form of marks. Same case is happening with the temperature. See, when I say that temperature of body A and B, it is same as that of C. When I say this only and only when temperature of A and B is equal. Temperature of A and B is equal. Now see. See, Zeroth law of thermodynamics, it only talks about temperature. Rather than temperature. Okay, so that is a limitation of zeroth. Okay, when you talk about the zeroth law, Zeroth law, it is related with what? Only temperature. So see, if temperature of body A, see, can you answer my question? If temperature of body A is 50, right? So see, zeroth law of thermodynamics, it only talks about the temperature, right? See, if you can just see here, okay, zeroth law of thermodynamics, it only talks about temperature. It does not talk about heat. It
टेस्टर में
does
पीवीआर थोड़ी है
not work. Ultimately, we are interested in what heat and work, right? With the temperature, we are not able to do anything. Ultimately, that temperature has to be transformed into heat or work. Okay, so it does not talk about the terms like heat and work. Okay, so that is a limitation of zeroth law. Okay, what is the limitation of zeroth law? It talks only about the temperature, not anything other than that. So that is the reason why we need to go for the first law of thermodynamics. Okay, so with this limitation, okay, we need to first law of thermodynamics. Is that okay?
दूसरे दिन अच्छा निकाल एक दिन सुना क्या एक दिन निकाल सपना के साथ जाके
Is that okay?
देख क्या उसमें अभी आज क्या कल जा रही आज नहीं जा
Is that okay, all of you?
सर वो पीछे वाले की आवाज ज्यादा आ रही है सर, आपकी थोड़ा कम।
हाँ सुना क्या
All must to ensure that your mic is mute. If you have any doubt or difficulty, you can unmute and you can ask me. So is that okay with this one? Yes, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what I will do, okay, now just a minute. So let us start with the first concepts. Okay, what is called as characteristic gas equation. Okay, this is called as characteristic, okay, gas equation. Okay, this is very important. This is called as characteristic gas equation. Okay, and this is also known as, okay, this is also known as ideal gas equation. Okay, or you can call, or this thing also you can call this as ideal gas equation. This is also called as ideal gas equation. It is one and same. Characteristic gas equation, or this is also known as ideal gas equation. Okay, now let us start, okay, with this thing. Okay, now see, all of you, you're seeing this equation, what is called as PV is equal to MRT. Okay, I will just write down here only. Okay, P into capital V is equal to MRT. Okay, PV is equal to MRT. Right, this is called as characteristic gas equation, or this is also known as ideal gas equation. Okay, so if you just write down the terms in this particular equation, okay, this P, you know, P, okay, it is called as a pressure. Okay, P is a pressure, right? What is V? V, it is nothing but a volume, right? Pressure, volume. Okay, M it is called as mass, right? M is a mass, right? R, now this is very important, R. Okay, R. Okay, so I'll just write down here R. What is R? See, R, it is called as characteristic gas constant. Okay, this is characteristic gas equation. This is called as characteristic gas equation. Okay, where R is called as, okay, characteristic, okay, gas constant. This is called as characteristic gas constant. R is called as characteristic gas constant. Okay, and you know this about T. This is called as a temperature. This is called as temperature. Okay, so these are the terms. PV is equal to MRT, where P is a pressure, V is a volume, M is a mass, right? R is a characteristic gas constant, and T is called as temperature. Okay, now let us play with the units. Okay, let us do that. Okay, now see, all of you can see pressure. Okay, we always want this pressure to be Newton per meter square. We want this pressure to be Newton per meter square, right? Pressure will be Newton per meter square. Volume we used to take it in meter cube. Volume will be in meter cube. Mass will be in kg. Okay, R will be in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Try to understand. R is kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and temperature it is in Kelvin. You can check. See, volume is in meter cube, mass is in kg. Okay, let us say R I will take it in joule only. Okay, let us take R is in joule. Okay, per kg Kelvin, and temperature it is in Kelvin. Sorry, temperature it is in Kelvin. Right? Temperature it is in Kelvin. Right? So what happens? You can see what happens. See, kg gets cancelled. See, you can see here this kg and this kg get cancelled. Okay, Kelvin and this Kelvin gets cancelled. What is remaining? It's okay, joule only, right? What is remaining? It's joule. Okay, so you know that. See, Newton into meter is what? Joule. Is that okay? Yes or no? Newton into meter is what? Joule. So you're getting same unit, right? Let us do with that. Okay, see, all of you. And Newton per meter square. What is Newton per meter square? All of you know this. What is Newton per meter square? It is called as Pascal. Right? Newton per meter square, it is called as Pascal. Right? Similarly, if I take pressure, see what I'm writing. Similarly, if I take pressure in kilo Newton per meter square, see, pressure I will take it in kilo Newton per meter square. Volume I will take it in meter cube. Volume is in meter cube. Mass I will take it in kg. Now R I will take it in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. R I will take it in kilojoule per kg Kelvin. And temperature it is in Kelvin. Temperature it is in Kelvin, right? Okay. Now see, what is kilo Newton per meter cube? Kilo Newton per meter square. Sorry, kilo Newton per meter square. Okay, it is kilopascal, right? It is kilopascal. This is kilopascal. Right? Now again, let us check whether we are getting same or not. See, kg get cancelled. Kelvin gets again cancelled. What is remaining? Kilo Newton into meter. Kilo Newton into meter. That is nothing but kilojoule. Is that okay? Let me know. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. Is that okay, all of you? Right? Now let us see here, all of you. Now let us see. See. Now see, the same equation I will write down. Okay, same equation I will write down. PV is equal to MRT. PV is equal to MRT. Right? Now what I will do, I will just bring this mass on the left hand side. This I will bring it here. So P into capital V by M is equal to RT. Okay, P into capital V by M is equal to RT. Right? So what I will get, P into capital V by mass, it is nothing but a small v.
So why did you take
Capital
that?
V is a volume. Okay, and volume when you divide by mass, it is called as specific volume. So P into small v is equal to RT. Okay, so this is one more equation. See, this is the equation. PV is equal to MRT. Similarly, we have P into small v is equal to RT. Okay, what is small v? It is the specific volume. Small v, it's a specific volume. In the last lecture only we have seen, when you divide any quantity by mass, it becomes specific. Okay, now let us check with the units again. Okay, pressure same. It is in Newton per meter square. Pressure, it is in Newton per meter square. Volume now, it is meter cube by kg. Okay, so it is meter cube by kg because it's a specific volume. R will be in joule per kg Kelvin. R will be in joule per kg Kelvin, right? Temperature, it is again in Kelvin. Temperature is in Kelvin, right? So what happens? Okay, this Kelvin and Kelvin gets cancelled. See, this Kelvin gets cancelled. This Kelvin gets cancelled, right? So what is remaining is Newton meter by kg, right? Newton meter by kg. That is nothing but joule by kg, right? Newton meter by kg, that is equal to joule by kg, right? So when we see this term, particular term, Newton per meter square, okay, it is Pascal. Newton per meter square is a Pascal, right? So similarly, I can have it in kilonewton as well. Okay, So this is kilonewton per meter square. See, instead of Newton, I will replace by kilonewton. Instead of joule, I will replace by kilojoule. Okay, this is the only thing which I'm doing. So meter cube by kg is equal to kilojoule by kg Kelvin multiplied by Kelvin, right? So what happens is, this Kelvin gets cancelled. You can see Kelvin here and this Kelvin here gets cancelled, right? Kelvin gets cancelled. This Kelvin gets cancelled. What is remaining? Kilojoule by kg, right? Kilojoule by kg. What is it? What is written here? Kilonewton into meter by kg, right? Kilonewton into meter by kg. That is kilojoule per kg, right? So we are getting same thing, right? So this particular term, when you see, it is called as kilopascal. This is called as kilopascal. Is that okay? Yes or no? Is that okay? Have you understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
See? Yeah. So here also I will write down this small v. It is a specific volume. Specific volume. Simple. When you divide any term by mass, it becomes specific. Right. Now, question was, what is R? Right. Characteristic gas constant. Okay. So see, value of characteristic gas constant. Okay, which is indicated by R. See, value of characteristic gas constant, which is indicated by R. Characteristic gas constant R. It is given by, it's the universal gas constant upon molecular weight. It's a universal gas constant. Okay. Okay. So see, this R will change. Okay, as the fluid is going to change. Okay, for oxygen it will be different. For nitrogen it will be different. Okay. So how to get R? How to get this characteristic gas constant? It is a ratio. It is a ratio of universal gas constant to the molecular weight. Okay. So see, as name indicates, it's a universal gas constant. Okay. So it will be having some constant value, and universal gas constant, it is having the value as 8.314. Okay. It is a constant value upon molecular weight. Upon molecular weight. Right. So whatever the fluid you have, for that particular fluid, okay, you just calculate the molecular weight. Okay, calculate the molecular weight and then calculate the value of R. Okay, this is what we'll get. So is that okay? Yes, is that okay with this one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is all about what? Ideal gas equation or characteristic gas equation. Okay, you need to remember these two equations. PV is equal to MRT or PV is equal to RT. Okay, so these two equations are very important. Okay, as you can see, okay, this equation PV is equal to, okay, this equation PV is equal to MRT, okay, or PV is equal to RT. Right? So these two equations are very important. Okay, as far as the numericals are concerned. Okay, and this will be useful throughout the thermodynamics. Right. So is that okay with this one? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let us move to the next point. Okay. Now let us move to the next point. Okay. That is called as the specific heat at a constant pressure. Okay. I'll just write down here. That is called as specific heat at constant pressure. Specific heat at a constant pressure. And see, specific heat, it is indicated by C. Specific heat, it is indicated by C. And as it is at a constant pressure, okay, we need to indicate as CP. Okay, so CP indicates that it is at a constant pressure. C is a specific heat, okay. P indicates that it is at a constant pressure. P indicates that it is at a constant pressure. Okay, see, specific heat at a constant pressure. Okay, so specific heat is C. Okay, and as it is at a constant pressure, it is indicated CP. It is indicated by C. Just a minute. Okay, So now let us start. Okay, how to go ahead. Okay, the definition of specific heat. Okay, so it is a rate of change of enthalpy. It is a rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature. With respect to temperature, when pressure is held constant. Okay, how to calculate Cp? It is how the enthalpy is changing with respect to temperature when pressure is held constant. Okay, so this is how we'll calculate Cp. So it is a rate of change of enthalpy with respect to temperature when pressure is held constant. Okay, so from this expression only, okay, we will get the formula for enthalpy. Okay, so see, if you ask me what is the value of dou H, so dou H is given by Cp into dou T. Dou H is given by Cp into dou T. Okay, so if you integrate dou H, okay, it is given by H. Integration of dou H is H. Okay, Cp, it's a constant value. It is constant, and integration of dou T is T. Okay, so from this we will get the formula for enthalpy. H is given by Cp into dt. H is given by Cp into dt. Is that okay? Is that okay? Yes. Okay, now see all of you. Now let us move to the next point. Okay, that is specific heat at constant volume. Specific heat at a constant volume. So specific heat, it is indicated by C, and at a constant volume, it is indicated by V. Okay, so CV is a specific heat at a constant volume. Okay, and formula for CV is, it is rate of change of internal energy with respect to temperature when volume is held constant. Okay, so how the internal energy is changing with respect to temperature when volume is held constant. Okay, so from this expression, okay, we will be able to write down the formula for dou U is equal to Cv into dou T. Dou U is given by Cv into dou T, right? You can see whenever it is H, it is Cp. Whenever U is Cp. So formula for U I can write down as Cv into. Okay, so this is the formula for U. It is Cv into T. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now see all of you. So now see, I used to write down. Okay, what is I always used to tell you enthalpy, entropy, internal energy, all those things. Okay. So now let us understand the concept of enthalpy. Okay, what do you understand by enthalpy? Okay, so I'll just write down here enthalpy. Okay, enthalpy. So enthalpy, okay, it is indicated by H. Okay, enthalpy, it is indicated by H. Given by addition of U plus PV. Okay, enthalpy is given by addition of U plus PV. See, U is called as internal energy. You can see here. Okay, I will just brief you afterwards. Enthalpy is the addition of internal energy plus PV. Enthalpy is the addition of internal energy plus PV. Okay, if you want, I'll just write down U. U is the internal energy. Internal energy. See, U is the internal energy, right? U is the internal energy. So enthalpy is it's the addition of internal energy plus PV. Okay, now see all of it. So now what I will do, I will divide this entire equation by mass. I will divide this equation by mass. Okay, so let us do that. So H by M is equal to U by M plus P into V by M. See, pressure never be divided by mass. Obviously, volume we need to divide by mass. Okay, so let us see that. Okay, so what I done, I divided this entire equation by mass. So see, whenever you divide any quantity by mass, it becomes this specific. Okay, so capital H by small m, it's H, small h. U by M, it's small u, plus P into V by M is small v. See, when you divide capital H by mass, it becomes small h. When you divide capital U by mass, it's small u. Plus P as it is, capital V by M, it's small v. Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay
sir.
or not? Okay. Now, what is the formula for H? Just now we are seeing Cp into T, right? H is Cp into T is equal to U. Formula for U, it's Cv into T, right? Cv into T. Okay. Plus, what is the formula for PV? Just now we are seeing, see, H is Cp into T, U is Cv into T, that is written. Now, what is P into small v? Can you see? P into small v is equal to RT, right? P into small v is equal to RT, right? It is equal to RT. Okay. So from this expression, I will write down the formula for R as R is given by Cp minus Cv. Is that okay? What is the formula for R? It is Cp minus Cv. So R, see, if you know the value of Cp, if you know the value of Cv, how you will calculate R? It is a difference of Cp and Cv. Okay. So if Cp and Cv are known, okay, we can calculate the value of R. We can calculate the value of R. Now see, one more term it is there. Okay, one more term it is called R. Okay, see R, you know, characteristic gas constant. So it's the difference of Cp and Cv. See, one more term it is there. Okay, and that is basically known as adiabatic index. Okay, this is called as adiabatic index. See, adiabatic index, it is indicated by gamma. Okay, adiabatic index, it is indicated by gamma. Okay, and gamma, it is a ratio of Cp by Cv. Try to understand. Gamma is the ratio of Cp by Cv. See, difference between Cp and Cv is R. Difference between Cp and Cv is R. And ratio of Cp by Cv is gamma. Okay, right? Now see, from this expression, so from this expression, I will write down the value of Cp as gamma into Cv. Okay, so this is the value of Cp I have written. It is gamma into Cv. Is that okay? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, I will call this as one, equation number 1. This is equation number 2. Okay, let this be equation number 3. Okay, so here I will mention from equation 1 and 2. Okay, okay, let me write down this as equation number 4. Okay, let this be 5. Okay, some equation numbers we will give. Okay, now what I will do, I will put the value of Cp here. Okay, I'll just put the value of Cp here. So I'll just write down putting equation 5 in 4. I'll put the equation 5 into in 4. Okay, so R is given by what is the value of Cp? Gamma into Cv minus Cv. Gamma into Cv minus, right? So from this, what value of R I will get? R is equal to, okay, Cv I will take it common. It's gamma minus 1. Cv I will take it common. It's gamma minus 1. Okay. So from this, we will get the value of Cv as R upon gamma minus 1. See, this is the value of Cv. It is R upon gamma minus 1. So let us call this as equation number 6. Value of Cv is R upon gamma minus 1. Okay. So I have the value of now Cv. I have the value of Cv. Can I calculate Cp? Yes. Can I calculate Cp now? So how do I calculate Cp? So Cp is equal to gamma, okay, into Cv. Cv is R upon gamma minus 1. Yes or no? Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see, you can see how many equations we got. If you have Cp and Cv, you calculate R. If you have Cp and gamma, you can calculate Cv. Likewise. If you have R and gamma, you can calculate Cv. If you have R and gamma, you can calculate Cp. Right? So see, in the problem, okay, any one of the two values they might be giving. Okay, they might be giving Cp and Cv. Okay, they might be giving Cp and R. They might be giving Cv and R. So based on what given data is there, okay, we need to use the appropriate equations so as to calculate the okay, unknowns. Is that okay? Is that okay, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see, now let us start with the okay, next point. Okay, let us start with the next point. Okay. So see, there are five processes. There are five processes in a closed system. There are five processes in a closed system. Okay, we'll be starting with each one by one. Okay. So see, now I will start with the first process. First process, okay, it is called as first process. It is called as I will just write down otherwise. Thermodynamic. I'll just write down here. Thermodynamic processes. Thermodynamic processes for closed system. For a closed system. Okay. So whatever the process now that we are going to see, okay, they are for a closed system. They will be for a closed system. Okay. So for closed system, we have total 5 processes. Try to understand. For a closed system, we have total of 5 processes. Okay. So let us start with the first process. Okay. See, now I will start with the first process. First process, it is called as constant volume process. First process, it is called as constant volume. Okay, constant volume. Okay, or also we can start it with the constant pressure. Anything we can start. Let us start with first. I will start with the constant pressure. First process, it's a constant pressure process. Okay, I will start with constant pressure. First process, it's a constant pressure process. See, constant pressure process, it is also known as isobaric. This is also known as isobaric process. Okay, constant pressure process, it is also known as isobaric process. Is that okay, all of you? Yes. Is that okay? Let me know.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, is that okay? Okay. Let us start now. Is that okay with this one? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can we start PV diagram? Okay. So now let us start with the PV diagram. See, constant pressure process. Constant pressure process, now we are plotting on a PV diagram, right? Constant pressure process. Now we are plotting on a PV diagram. See, constant pressure. Obviously, it will be a horizontal line, right? Yes or no? It's a constant pressure. That means it has to be a horizontal line. So see, if there is a horizontal line, there are 2 possibilities. Either to go on a left-hand side or on a right-hand side. Is that okay? See, if it's a, see, I'm telling you, how you will plot a constant pressure process on a PV diagram, it has to be a horizontal line, right? It has to be a horizontal line. So if it's a horizontal, there are 2 possibilities, either to move on a left-hand side or to move on a right-hand side. So let us start with that. Okay, so let us consider this point number 1. This is a point number 1. This is the initial state. Okay, where pressure is P1. Where pressure is P1. Okay, so from point number 1, okay, pressure is P1. Okay, and volume is V1. Volume is V1. So from point number 1, I will move to point number 2. Okay, at a constant pressure. So I can move like this, right? So from point number 1, I will move to point number 2 along this horizontal line. Okay, where pressure is constant. That is, okay, P1 is equal to P2. Okay, pressure is same. Pressure at point number 1 is equal to pressure at point number 2. Okay, where I will get the volume equal to V2. Where I will get volume equal to V2. Is that okay? It's a constant pressure process. It's a constant pressure process. Okay, so by keeping the pressure constant, okay, volume is increased. Okay, and if such is the case, it is called as heating process. If you want, I'll just write down here. This is called as heating. This is called as heating. Why it is heating? Because pressure is constant, but volume has been increased. Okay, so whenever volume increases, it's a heating process. It's a heating process. Is that okay? Is that okay or not? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so see, this is the case when I am going on a right hand side. My initial state 1 is here, I am going on a right hand side. Okay, exactly the reverse case is also possible. Okay, let us take the point number 1 here. Okay, where the pressure is P1. Okay, and where volume is V1. Okay, where the volume is V1. Now from initial state 1, okay, here from 1 I move on a right hand side. Now I will move on a left hand side. Okay, so here I will move from point number 1 to this point number 2. Okay, so this is a process. So I will move from point number 1 to point number 2 on the left hand side. Okay, so see what happens during 1 to 2, pressure is constant, that is P2 is equal to P1, but volume is increased from V1 to V2. Sorry, decrease from V1 to V2. Here pressure is constant but volume is increased. Pressure is constant but volume is decreased. Both are reverse processes. Okay, and if such is the case, it is called as cooling process, right? Such process it is called as cooling process. Is that okay? Such process it is called as cooling process. Clear? Is that clear?
Explain one more time, please, sir.
See, I want this process to be constant pressure. What is constant pressure? It's a horizontal line because we are plotting on a PV. So if it's a horizontal line, okay, so you have two possibilities: either move from left hand side towards right hand side, or you move from right hand sides toward left hand side. The two possibilities. So let us consider the first possibilities. Okay, so this is the first point where pressure is P1 and volume is V1. Now from point number 1, I will move along this line where pressure is constant, that is P2 is equal to P1. Okay, so I will reach to point number 2 where volume is V2. Okay, so during 1 to 2, what happens is pressure is constant but volume is increased. So such process it is called as heating. Such process it is called as heating. Okay, now let us move to the next. Okay, let us see this point. Okay, so this is the initial condition. Initial condition is 1. Okay, where pressure is P1 and volume is V1. Now from initial state 1, I will move on the left hand side. So what happens? Okay, along this line, pressure is held constant, that is P2 is equal to P1. But what happens? Volume gets decreased from V1 to V2. Volume gets decreased from V1 to V2. Such process it is called as cooling. Such process it is called as cooling. Okay, see, simple example if I give you. Okay, just take a water. Okay, that water you start heating it. When you start heating the water, what happens? The pressure remains constant. You can see the pressure of the water remains constant, but water gets converted into vapor. Okay, so that means volume is increased. So pressure of the water is constant, but volume of the water get increased. Okay, so that is called as constant pressure heating. Okay, process of converting the water into vapor, it's a constant pressure heating, right? Now exactly reverse cases. Process of converting vapor back to water, it is called as cooling. Okay, that is basically we used to call it as condensation. Okay, so heating it is related with the evaporation, cooling it is related with the condensation. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
now
sir.
see, this is a PV diagram, right? This is a PV diagram. Now try to establish a PV relation, PVT relation. So I'll just write on the second point here. Okay, what is the relationship between pressure, volume, and temperature for the constant pressure process? Okay, let us work out on it. Okay, so all of you know that. Okay, you know that PV is equal to MRT. Just now we have written this equation. Okay, just now we have written this PV is equal to MRT. Okay, so now I will write down this as P1 V1 is equal to MRT. Is that okay? I'm writing for state number 1. Okay, so similarly I will write down for state number 2, P2 V2 is equal to MRT. Is that okay? Is that okay or not? Let me know.
Yes, sir.
So from this equation, can I write down P1 V1 by T1 is equal to MR? Okay. Similarly, from this equation, can I write down P2 V2 by T2 is equal to MR? Is that okay? P2 V2 by T2 is equal to MR. So from these two equations, okay, can I write down P1 V1 by T1 is equal to P2 V2 by T2? Is that okay? Just check it. Is that okay or not? Is that okay? right?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, but what you can see here, but here P2 is equal to P1 in this equation. Okay, in this process basically. Okay, I'll just write down, but P1 is equal to P2. Okay, but pressure is same. That's why I will write down this equation as, okay, V1, okay, V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. V1 is equal to V2 by T2. Is that okay? V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2, right? So this is the relationship between volume and temperature when pressure is held constant. Because see, when pressure is constant, obviously it will be get cancelled. P1 and P2 gets cancelled. So what is remaining? V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. So whenever the pressure is held constant, okay, this is a relationship between volume and temperature. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now let us go to the next point. Okay, let us see how to calculate work transfer. We need to calculate work transfer. Okay, what is the formula for calculating work transfer? Work transfer is given by W122 is given by integration P dV. Yes or no? All of you know this one. How to calculate this formula? We already derived. Work done during 1 to 2 is given by integration P dV. Integration P dV for process 1 to 2, right? So we need to integrate P dV for process 1 to 2. Is that clear? Let me know. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This we have derived. Now see, in this process, pressure is held constant, right? Pressure is constant. So pressure, I will take it out. What is the meaning? 1 to 2 dV. Yes or no? Pressure is held constant because you can see P2 is equal to P1. That's why I taken it outside the integration. So it is P into dV. Okay. So E is equal to, I'll just write down, E is equal to P. Now what is the integration of dV? It is V, right? For the process 1 to 2. Yes or no? Integration of dV is V for the process 1 to 2. Okay. So what value of W1 to 2 I'm getting? W1 to 2 is given by P I have written as it is. P I have written as it is. Okay. Upper limit minus lower limit, right? So it is V2 minus V1. Yes or no? P into
Yes, sir.
V2 minus V1. Is that clear? See, so this is the formula. This is the formula for work done. How will you calculate work done? P into V2 minus V1. If you want to check it by graph, again we are getting same value or not, you can check it. You just calculate this area. Can you calculate this area below the curve? See, this area below the curve, it will give you the value of work done during 1 to 2. Check it. Are you getting same value or not? Check this. How will you calculate this area? Can you calculate? Can you calculate the area? What is the area? This is a pressure. Pressure into V2 minus V1. Same you're getting. Pressure into V2 minus V1. Yes or no? Are you getting or not?
No, no, sir.
Are you getting the same answer? Let me clear. Are you getting the same answer? See here. This is P. This is P. That is pressure into what? V2 minus V1. See, same answer we're getting here. Is that clear? Is that clear or not? Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see, what is P2 V2? You can check. What is P2 V2? See, this P is nothing but P2 or P1 because it is same. What is P? It is P2 or V2. See, you can check it. Pressure is same. P is P2, P is P2 or P1. Then what is P2 into V2? It's MRT2. You can check it. This is MRT2. P2 into V2 is MRT2. What is P into V1? P into V1, it's MRT1. Yes, so it is MRT1. M into R into T1. Is that okay? Check it. P2 V2 is MRT2. P1 V1 is MRT1. So it is MRT2 minus T1. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So see, work done. Okay, you can calculate either by using pressure and volume, or also you can calculate by using temperature. Okay, you can calculate by using temperature. Right? Okay, now let us go to the next point. Okay, I'll just write down this point number D. Okay, that is called as heat transfer. heat transfer. Okay, we'll calculate now heat transfer. Okay, so heat transfer during 1 to 2. So heat transfer during 1 to 2. I will calculate this as Q1 to 2. Now see all of you, heat is transferred during which process? Constant pressure process. I repeat, heat is transferred during constant pressure process. So formula is integration 1 to 2 m into Cp into dT. So the reason is heat transferred at a constant pressure. You can see Cp is there. So whenever heat is transferred at a constant pressure, the formula is mCp. If it is at a constant volume, the formula is mCv. Okay, that we will see in the next lecture. Okay, so when the heat is transferred at a constant pressure, the formula is mCp dt for the process 1 to 2. Okay, you can say mass is constant, Cp is again constant, integration of dt. Okay, integration of dt is done 1 to 2 dt. Okay, 1 dt. So we'll get heat transfer Q1 to 2 by mCp. Integration of dt is for the process. It is nothing m into Cp into T2 minus 1. M into Cp into T2. Okay. Now see. Okay. So what we'll do today, we will stop. Okay. And in the next lecture, we will continue with the next processes, right? That is constant volume, okay, constant temperature, adiabatic and polytropic process. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.